Hello Taurus, Archie Dunlop here with your daily horoscope for Tuesday, January the 16th, 2024. Today, Taurus, you may be a little sensitive. You can really feel what's going on around you. This means that you're perhaps going to find that your moods will swing as the people and situations around you change. So if you're in a happy environment, happy atmosphere with happy people, it should be fine. But not everyone is going to be a happy camper, and some people are going to be worried about something, and you'll pick up on those worries, I think. That could perhaps undermine your own feelings of well-being. So when you're dealing with other people, you need to tread carefully, and maybe a bit of distance is required, because if you get too close to someone, you might find yourself having to deal with just stuff that is just quite grueling, unpleasant, not good for you, and you do need to look after yourself today. I mean, that is your main responsibility. Having said that, Venus, your ruler, is making an 135-degree aspect to Jupiter, a sesquiquadrate, and this Venus sesquiquadrate Jupiter could make you generous. Taurians can be very generous, and this Venus Jupiter sesquiquadrate might emphasize this. And I think you might want to do things for people. You might want to help them whatever way you can, whatever way feels appropriate. I don't know. I think you perhaps need to curb that generosity, because this generosity seems a little bit out of control. I mean, once you get going on helping someone, you might not know when to stop, and there is a possibility that you focus your generosity simply in the wrong areas. People who don't really need your generosity, but of course they nonetheless ask for your generosity. So that is something you need to consider. And you certainly shouldn't take what people say at face value. And that's an important thing to say, because sometimes Taurians can actually be quite gullible. It's an earth sign. They like to take what people say at face value. So you hear someone say something and you take what they say at face value and you accept it, and you perhaps want to be generous to them and whatever, but really you shouldn't take what people say at face value. You should just realize that everyone is looking after themselves, and very often they will say whatever needs to be said to give themselves the maximum advantage. So yes, do bear that in mind. And while all this is going on, Venus, which is your ruling planet, is not just sesquiquadrate Jupiter. It's also aspecting the Mars-Saturn midpoint. Now, I talk quite a lot about the Mars-Saturn midpoint in my videos. I think it's an important midpoint, and it can be quite a very negative midpoint. And I think there may be a point today where you actually feel quite frustrated. It just might feel we just can't get anything done, and you're not sure what to do with Venus on the Mars-Saturn midpoint, and there's even a danger that because you're feeling frustrated, your energy goes into the wrong areas, and it could almost become quite sort of self-destructive. So you do have to be careful, and you need to be looking at at constructive ways of expressing yourself. And maybe it's about a lot of physical exercise, health permitting. Obviously, if you take a lot of physical exercise, you've got to make sure you're fit. So check out that you really are in good shape, but you really are able to handle exercise. But yeah, depending on the situation, if you can do something that can just burn off that excess energy, burn off some of those frustrations, that would be really good. And that's perhaps something you should be concentrating on. So it is a bit negative, but there are definitely things that you can do. As far as relationships are concerned, there are certainly people to deal with, but I don't know. Some people are just kind of looking for trouble, and it won't take much to get them to sort of argue and dig their heels in, refuse to compromise. Won't take much at all. And I think a lot of people are going to be convinced that they're in the right. Are they in the right? I don't know. They might be, might not be. So I would suggest that you are careful in terms of which people you hang out with. And if someone has given you trouble in the past, they're likely to give you trouble in the present and in the future. So in that sense, it's about not repeating the same mistake twice. So that's the broad picture, Taurus. It could be a bit tense at times, and you do need to find a constructive way, I think, to sort of burn off some of your frustrations. That would be very useful, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. Today is today. Tomorrow the situation is likely to be very different. But anyway, Taurus, thank you very much for listening, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.